Hello everyone, in this video I wanted to show why benchmarks for audio production software are quite useless, and I am running now the Logic benchmark test on this machine, which is a 2012 MacBook Pro i7. We are currently running at around 75 degrees. The power gadget consumption for the CPU is around 20 watts, 22 watts. And we are currently maxed out. I've been running the test for a long time now, maybe 10 minutes. And the system is like in a steady state, which is like it's balancing out. The heat generation is under control, so it doesn't move a lot and doesn't show any error. While if I go to like 25 or 26, it can sustain that for a couple of seconds and then drop. Well, maybe a couple of like 10, 20 seconds. But yeah, at some point it will drop. So I would say 25 is a reliable indication. Here it is. And yeah, so what I wanted to show you is that with this project, you have the performance meter for all the cores, except for the last one, which is reserved for the system, that is maxed out. While if I run any kind of real world project, I will usually max out on a couple of cores and then have a dropout anyway. So I will show you with the project. So here is a sample project for Logic. Now this project is very lightweight because it doesn't have a master probably. So it's not like a perfect scenario for a real world test. It's still only production with no mixed mastering. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, and I will show you now the CPU meter. Here we go. And as far as I remember, around the bridge, you have the limit for the CPU usage. So now it's only a couple of tracks working, no mastering again, no master track, and it's using like around 30% of the cores. Remember, this is a 2012 machine. It's 12 years old now, and you can still run this kind of project as long as you don't do any mastering. But even here, you can see you do get a spike as soon as any kind of track engages in some kind of layered processing, like sidechain or any bus, where you have to calculate multiple tracks together and then apply an effect on them. You will get single core spikes, and that will actually show the real limit of the machine. Now, I tried to add some random plugins to the master, very lightweight, and you can see that the first thread is now used a lot more already, just by adding like default Logic plugins to the master, stereo out. And that is like the typical scenario. You have a project where you want to do production, mix and mastering all together, and you will get to the single core limit of the machine. Yeah, also just to show you, we're now using like 5 watts less than before. We are at 79 degrees, but most importantly, the fans are not spinning that loud anyway. So you can see the volume actually a lot more. So totally different scenario from the benchmark. And here are the settings for the project. Now we are dropping to 64, while I was previously running 128 buffer size, and see what happens at 64. This is the audio card that I'm using, because my Thunderbolt interface is Thunderbolt 3, so I cannot use the Apollo. Let's see if there's any difference with the CPU usage now. And let's see if I get, when I get to the bridge, I get it. Yeah, as you see, the CPU usage is a lot higher. I don't know if it's dropping from the headphones, but it's not showing any drop on the Logic Pro interface, so it's probably working almost fine. But yeah, it's still working 64. So if you do production and you can maybe like use another machine or just freeze the tracks to do any kind of mix and mastering afterwards. You can still use a 12-year-old computer, as long as it's a fresh thermal paste. Of course, this machine has been repasted today. That's why I have it in the lab. And the performance is about 1/4 of the current M1 Max, as far as the number of tracks that you can see. But the problem is that its single core performance is about 1/4. So in a real world scenario, that is the real limit that you're getting for this machine. And I guess that's all. Ciao.